everyone. I'm Nishmita D'Souza, founder of Amplifying Voices. And today we have with us a very special guest. We have Priti, who is a very promising young individual who is here to discuss with us what the importance of technology is and why it's so important to help make it accessible, especially among the economically weaker sections, and what the condition of students are given the pandemic today. So, hi Preeti, would you like to introduce yourself before we start?
Hi Didi. So I am Preeti Gurud and I am from Pune. I am an Apsara alum. I recently finished my 12th grade from Apsara Academy and currently I am part of the core team at Knowledge and I am also running a project called Gurukul with one of my friends. And in terms of education, right now I am on my gap year. Like I'm just using this time to build on some skills within me so that I could get into good college and I could secure my future.
A small question on that, Preeti. Would you like to tell us what these particular skills are that you're working on?
I'm working on leadership, communication, and mostly working on my English and speaking skills.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. All right, so let's start. My first question to you is this. So, how do you think the pandemic has affected the learning of students, especially if you could give us some stories from your community itself? And what are some of the challenges that you have seen people face?
Sure. I believe that students across the globe are actually affected by the coronavirus because now that classrooms have actually moved online, it is kind of getting difficult for everyone to get the access to education online itself. Particularly talking about my community, I see that not a lot of them are actually learning because I don't see them having access to the right kind of resources that they need. I see them sharing the devices with one of their friends and then attending lectures, but I don't think that's actually helpful. Whereas I believe that if you have one device per student, then you are more likely to learn from yourself than depending on someone else for your device. So that's one thing that I observed in my community these days. And another issue uh, that I found recently was the technological issues because like right now a lot of them and a lot of other work like including the IT sector and a lot of other companies have moved online. Everyone is using internet and Wi-Fi, and because of that a lot of technical issues have been taking place. That's not in our control, like because of the bandwidth issues and all, but that's also one of the issues because of like online thing students are facing in my community.
Hmm. That's very interesting. You've actually touched upon quite a few points in what you just said that we could probably go into in detail. But one specific thing that I want to ask you right now is what has this done to the motivation of these students? The ones who really want to study, but they genuinely don't have access to devices. How does that impact them, especially students who are, say, higher grade students like eighth and above, eighth standard and above?
uh, yeah, yeah. So I feel like for them it is actually quite important for them to study no matter what, even if they don't you know really have time to do that. But I feel like students in my community are aiming higher so that they could get access to the device or even the online education right now, because I see, including myself, I also have classes going on, my external entrance exams. So I'm also trying my best to actually make sure that I attend these classes using either my mom's or even my dad's device some days. If like before I did not have a phone, so I used to use my dad's phone or even my mom's phone. But now that I have one, I use mine to make sure that I get the right amount of education that I want.
Hmm. All right. So you recently received a laptop, but you were already doing a lot of online work even before that. In fact, like the first time that I spoke to you and you were telling me about all the things that you're doing, I was completely amazed. And all of this was just on a smartphone. So can you tell us a little bit about what were the tasks that you used to do on your smartphone and what were the challenges that you faced while doing them?
Sure. So before even getting a laptop, I had my smartphone where I actually tied up with the company to in order to get the internship opportunity so that I could earn money to get a laptop. But that time I was not aware that I would get a laptop without even knowing that these things I would come across you and then get a laptop. But before that, when I had my phone, I was actually not able to do quite a lot because they needed someone to update their courses on website, but because I did not have a laptop, because it was all on Excel sheets and Google Forms, my phone did not have so many features so that I could do that. So they assigned me very small work so that I could only do it on phone. And also, when I used to attend my online lectures, the font used to be very small when they shared the screen. And even if I take a screenshot, it does not really made sense to me because I had to zoom in and keep zooming in the screen so that I could later on take notes. So I was not able to take notes while the class was going on. So I had to take the screenshot and then copy it down later. So that used to be it used to take a lot of time for me to do the same thing again. Whereas if I had a laptop before, I could have done that while the class was going on.
That's
Yeah.
very true. And now that you're mentioning screenshots, these are again luxuries, right? That are there on phones with which have better memory space. And we've come across so many students who don't have phones, or who have, first of all, they're using their parents' phones, and then they're using it with two or three siblings, and then the memory space is not enough. So, have you come across students like that, and what does that do, like, to the motivation to even study?
Yeah, so even I had memory space issues actually because my phone did not have enough storage. Like there, I took so many screenshots that I keep getting a notification that your memory is full, delete some stuff. And because of that, I was not able to download my school material, not even my textbooks and test papers. So I had to delete previous things, and that used to make things complicated because I did not remember if I took notes on that. And if I did, then should I delete it or not? Also, there's no guarantee that if I need those screenshots in the future. So that kept me in dilemma ki what exactly do I do with the screenshots? Where do I save it? Because I don't have space on my phone. I can't do transfer it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that also was another issue that I faced when I used my phone. And I did not actually come across any strategy, but lastly I just had to delete few photos of mine and few screenshots and other things that I had thought that was not necessary for me to keep.
Yeah. And how has having a computer now changed things for you?
Yeah. So right now, as I have access to laptop, as I told that for my own company, I have to update courses and all. Because now I have Google Sheet and Google Forms all over my laptop, and there are a lot of more features I could get through. I am able to design and do a lot more things with my laptop right now. It's not only the Google thing, but access to apps. I've got storage, like ample amount of storage, which is more than enough. I can also download all of my study materials and all of my other things, or if I do binge watching sometimes, I also download those things a lot of times. Also, this I would also want to point out this thing that before I had my phone, so I had to ask a lot of my peers to make the Google Forms and sometimes even fill Google Sheets for me. But now that I have my own, I don't really have to beg them for this thing anymore. In fact, a lot of other friends now who don't have access to laptop ask me to do a favor for them and create one form or sheet for them. So I'm really grateful that I got this and I could help others do their work as well. So it's not only benefited me, but I think through me I'm also helping others get their work done.
Yeah, I think that's the most powerful thing that's coming out of this whole drive, right? That even one gadget, how much it's changing for an entire family, or for a group of friends. And it's really highlighting how much motivation is there within every, so many young students in India to want to study, to go that extra mile, to work, to be able to get a phone or a laptop. Okay, moving on. So, do you think these gadgets are a necessity for students in today's world? And if so, why?
Yes, I think gadgets are actually necessary because I think I owned my phone when I was in 12th last year, and before that I was actually reliable on my dad, and there was no guarantee that he would be at home because of work. So I would actually lack a lot of things that others are doing, and I was not part of those. So I think when I got my own phone, I was able to make myself more aware of things going around. Like I got more opportunities that I could explore, I could be part of. So I think if you have a gadget, you are more responsible for yourself. There's no need for you to be dependent on anyone else. You can go and find it out yourself. So when you have a gadget. Also, I was thinking, like I just had this thought when you have a gadget, a lot of other things get more easier and efficient. For example, your workload and your stress. When you freak out, when you have a lot of work, especially me, I tend to freak out. And when I got my phone, I could just access everything on my phone. So that was a bit stress relieving for me. Not a lot of work is pending for me to do the next day. I can just do it immediately or right away when I got the notification of the work. So I think it is quite actually necessary for everyone, or at least students, to get a device. It not only helps them to like do their work and all, but they could also help others, like the way I do right now, help others who need help. For example, with my laptop, they can also help others if they want.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Another question I want to ask you, as far as this is concerned, is how has having a device at your disposal made a difference to you? Like you mentioned previously, before you got your own phone, you were using your father's phone, right? So that must have been very limited access. So, did some amount of time go in like actually learning the technology and having, how has having a phone of your own changed everything for you?
Yeah, so earlier I was quite restricted to only like WhatsApp or only Gmails and all, like Drive and all. But when I got my own phone, I was able to explore other apps. I was able to Google everything that even if a question appeared to my thought, I would just Google that or ask anyone else to guide me through. Okay, I have got this new feature on my phone. How do I go about this? So I got that feeling ki, yeah, I can do much more like right now than I used to do it in my father's phone. Also, for my father's phone, he only gave it to me for an hour or so because I don't know, he was very conscious about me being so reliable on the phone. But now he knows that I'm explored to a lot of other things, and I've got exposure to a lot of things that he trusts me that I can do everything on my phone. And I feel like he believes that now I understand the importance of getting a own phone that I own now. So yeah.
That's amazing. I think it's so cool that you got this by yourself. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. the the way in which everything has moved online is under, not necessarily under the presumption that everyone has one device of their own, but it's more about, yeah, okay, fine, things can move online, but a lot of students don't have access to it, right? And when that has happened, like it has affected their exams, it has affected their learning, it has affected, many students aren't able to attend classes because even if there's a phone at home, their siblings have to be attending classes. So what I'm asking is, do you think that a little bit, a few more measures should be taken to make technology more accessible in places where technology is not accessible enough?
I feel yes, because a lot of other kids who come from I think, as you said, lower economic sections, they don't get the privilege to explore things that others are doing right now. So, in order to do the same, I feel like they should also get access to technology. And it's not only getting the privilege, but I think people get more aware when they start having having things, when they start owning their own. Like for example, if like I especially own the device and I get the importance of having one right now. So I think if you have one by yourself, and it's the same to do with the people who don't really have one, if they get one, then they might actually realize that they can do much more than what they are right now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, my last question. What are the ways in which you feel students from these sections where technology is not easily be accessible are affected when it comes to finding jobs as compared to those students who have grown up with a gadget at their disposal. What do you think might be some
Okay.
of the challenges that they face?
Yeah. So basically, for students, those who are coming from lower economically sections, I feel like uh, they lack in awareness, and that leads to lack in confidence and then their voice. So they don't really have much of a say, and that's why they're not really able to express themselves or present themselves in a way so that uh, it gets easier for them to find a job. Also, I think they're not exposed to a lot of things. Maybe not because of their financial conditions. So that's why they're not able to get into the environment where they actually have access to a lot of other better things and they can find jobs easily.
So, one more question. I lied. It wasn't my last question. But what are the unconventional but much needed ways in which people who have resources can help those who are struggling during the pandemic? What do you think those are?
Okay, I would really encourage school to offer support in a very feasible manner to get the students access to either loans or for the technical support. For example, get them access to the technology. If the schools would do that, it would be much more better for the kids to not really struggle with like finding someone else in order to get a device for them. Uh, their school can just do it for them. I know a lot of other schools have taken this initiative, but if like many other schools who've not taken this initiative could do that, maybe that could work. Also, another thing, for example, people like you who are comfortable and can contribute to the community, like sort of giving back to the students, they can also start something like this and then start actually contributing to either one device within two students or something like that. So that would help get more reach, and the students would get access to the device. I would also want to add that people, kids who already have the access to devices, maybe they could take some mini lessons or they could go into the community and then think of teaching other kids who don't really have the privilege to attend online classes or even any other sessions. Because I think like peer-to-peer learning also helps a lot when it comes to teaching and learning from each other. So that is another way for giving back to the same community. Instead, it'll be peer to peer.
Yeah, I really like that suggestion. That's quite a good one. I did have a question, but I forgot, so I'm going to leave that.
Sorry.
Um, all right. But thank you so much, Preeti, for joining us and for giving us your time. I know you're a very busy young woman. Um, but you have, very well highlighted this whole issue has affected so many people and also how it's making things better, how it's making us aware, I feel, in some ways. I think it's amazing how, you are doing your bit and helping your peers out as well. And for everyone watching this, keep your eyes out, open, not out, open for everything that Preeti is going to do, because I'm pretty sure that she's going to be achieving some very remarkable things.
Oh
And
yeah, I have an upcoming webinar taking place sometime soon. So yeah, I'm also going to facilitate that webinar on my laptop. Like
yay,
first ever webinar.
nice. Can you tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about this webinar?
Okay, so basically this webinar is for the full stack, aspiring full stack developers, and these are basically engineers. And the topic for the webinar is how to ace a full stack interview. So if any one of you would want to know more about it, then knowledge.co is actually hosting this webinar series called What the Stack. And this is one of the webinars from that series that I'll be hosting sometime soon, maybe next month itself.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. All the best for it as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.